Chapter 5, Bay's Smile. Saturday afternoons at Harlem Bound were quieter than Friday nights. No crowded open mic, no heavy bass or snapping fingers, just the soft shuffle of pages turning and the earthy scent of coffee beans. Micah sat at her usual corner table, laptop open, textbook sprawled, trying to wrestle her midterm paper into shape. The cursor blinked back at her like it was mocking her. Compare themes of disillusionment in Fitzgerald and Hemingway. She groaned, rubbing her temples. She wasn't in the mood to write about dead white men. Not when her head was still spinning from last night. Josh. She'd thought their late-night walk would fade into memory, a nice but temporary distraction. Instead, she'd lain awake replaying his laugh, the way his eyes softened when he wasn't trying to perform toughness. And the line he dropped before leaving, "I like talking to you." Her stomach fluttered all over again. "You look like you're losing a fight with that paper," a voice drawled. She looked up, startled. There he was, Josh, hoodie half-zipped, glasses sliding down his nose, a mischievous grin tugging at his lips. "Do you always sneak up on people?" she asked, closing her laptop. "Nah. Just the ones who look like they need rescuing." He slid into the chair across from her without asking. Micah rolled her eyes, but her lips curved despite herself. "Shouldn't you be in a studio somewhere?" "I've been. Dre had me in the booth all morning. Needed a break." He leaned back, studying her with an ease that made her pulse quicken. Then he said, almost casually, "Come hang with me this afternoon." She blinked. "Hang with you?" "Yeah. Nothing wild. Just, my world." Micah hesitated. She had a mountain of reading. A draft is due in 3 days. But something about the way he asked, no bravado this time, no stage swagger, made her want to say yes. "Where?" she asked cautiously. Josh grinned. "You'll see." An hour later, she was walking beside him through a residential block lined with red brick apartments. The air smelled faintly of fried chicken and car exhaust, kids' laughter echoing from a playground nearby. Micah glanced at him. "So, you live around here?" Born and raised." He shoved his hands in his hoodie pockets. "Ain't fancy, but it's home." She nodded, taking it in. This wasn't the polished campus she was used to. It was louder, rougher, but alive in a way she couldn't deny. They stopped in front of a building with peeling paint but flower pots on the windowsills. Josh led her inside, up 2 flights of stairs, and into an apartment that smelled faintly of oatmeal and laundry detergent. "Daddy." The voice was small but fierce. Micah froze as a little girl came barreling from the hallway. Josh crouched instantly, arms open. "There's my baby." She launched into his embrace, curls bouncing, stuffed rabbit clutched in one hand. Josh lifted her easily, pressing a kiss to her cheek. Micah's chest tightened at the sight. "Bay, this is my friend, Micah," Josh said, turning so his daughter could see her. "Can you say hi?" Bay peeked shyly over his shoulder, then offered the tiniest smile. "Hi." Micah softened, crouching slightly. "Hey, Bay. That's a cool bunny you've got there." Bay held it up proudly. "Her name's Star." "That's a perfect name," Micah said. The girl's smile widened, and for a moment, Micah forgot all about textbooks and essays. Josh set Bay down, and she darted off to the living room, where crayons were scattered across the coffee table. "She's beautiful," Micah murmured. Josh's expression shifted, pride glowing in his eyes. "Yeah. She's my whole world." Something unspoken passed between them then, an understanding of what mattered most to him. It made Micah's throat tighten in a way she hadn't expected. "Come on," he said, motioning toward the couch. "Bay, show Micah your drawings." The little girl bounded over, dropping a handful of papers into Micah's lap. Scribbled rainbows, stick figures, a house with crooked windows. Micah smiled. "These are amazing. You're an artist." Bay grinned, climbing up beside her. Daddy says I draw better than him. That's facts, Josh called from the kitchen, pulling juice boxes from the fridge. She got more talent in her pinky finger than I had at her age. Micah laughed, helping Bay arrange the drawings into a neat pile. She felt strangely comfortable here, like slipping into a rhythm she hadn't known she'd been missing. Later, after Bay had retreated to her room with Star and a coloring book, Micah found herself standing in the small kitchen while Josh washed dishes. She's amazing, Micah said softly. Josh nodded, his back to her. She saved me, you know. I was wild before she came. Thought I had time to waste. But the second I held her, he shook his head, drying his hands. Everything changed. She made me grow up fast. Micah studied him, seeing not the rapper with a stage name, not the cocky smile, but the man who woke up early to make oatmeal, who stitched a stuffed rabbit's ear back together, who rapped his daughter to sleep. Most guys would have run, she said quietly. Josh's jaw tightened. Yeah. Her mom wanted me to. She thought I wouldn't step up. But I wasn't about to be another ghost in Bay's life. The rawness in his voice made Micah's heart ache. You didn't run, she said. He met her eyes then, something unguarded flashing there. Nah. I don't run from what I love. The words hung heavy between them, sparking something she couldn't name. By the time she left that evening, Bay was asleep, and Josh was walking her to the door. Micah felt different. Not lighter. Not heavier. Just, changed. You okay? Josh asked, noticing her silence as they stood in the hallway. She nodded, forcing a small smile. Yeah. Just, wasn't expecting today. Too much. No. Not too much. Just, real. He studied her, searching for something in her face. Finally, he said, Bay liked you. That's rare. Warmth spread through her chest at the thought. I liked her too, she admitted. Josh grinned then, that same grin that had caught her off guard the first night. Good. Maybe you'll come by again. Micah's heart stuttered. Maybe. She turned toward the stairs, but his voice stopped her. Micah. She looked back. Thanks. For not judging me. For, just being here. Her throat tightened, but she managed a soft, anytime. Then she left, the sound of Bay's laughter still ringing in her ears, lingering long after she stepped back into the noise of the city.